guys, and welcome back. This did start out as a changing video. As you can see, Jacoy has been changed. Excuse me. He is in the super cute outfit from Auntie Angela. It's a Gymboree 0 to 3 months long sleeve romper. And it is all like a heathered gray, except for the sleeves are heathered gray, like a neon yellow, teal, navy blue. The collar is that neon yellow, and it's got this really cute like robot face on it that has this nifty little zipper pouch that I like to use, or that I thought would be nice to use with the IDs. Typically the IDs, I have these brooches that I've glued onto them. I get them at Hobby Lobby. I believe it's like $100 for $4. They make, I buy the ones that I have to glue on myself. So you can kind of see the glue down there. It's on this clear plastic backing thing, the pin part. And then you just take some strong glue. You can use like a silicone based glue or like, excuse me, something like Gorilla Glue, anything that'll make it stick. They do have some that come have like a pre-adhesive on them. I've used those in the past, but I'm not too fond of them because it's got like a foamy texture on it, and that foam typically will eventually peel off. Plus it makes it stick up probably a couple centimeters higher than this one. So anyways, I have made this video once, that's why he's already changed. And I decided to scrap the original after watching it and remake the video to kind of portray the message a little bit differently. And Crystal and I had this discussion not very long ago. It was actually pretty recently, about, you know, helping people in the community versus helping people in the community. And that some people are like, what do you mean? That's the exact same thing. What we were talking about is, lately people have been coming to us asking us to help them do things that clearly it's already knowledge out there, and it's somebody who doesn't want to put in their own work to kind of figure it out. And I'll start off by saying I love helping people. I absolutely love helping people. I have people all the time messaging me about RealCares, like where can I get them, like how do I know if I'm getting a good one versus not. Okay, I got this one. I don't know which version I have. This is what I have for the doll. I don't know what I need to make it work. Okay, I have everything to make it work. Now what do I do? So, I mean, I like helping people like that. Like, you know, spreading the knowledge that I have on them. There's been very few times I haven't been fully able to help the person. Sometimes they just stop communicating. Like there was one instance that somebody was asking, they're having issues with their doll when they tried to use it and turn it on, that it wasn't recognizing stuff. And I'm like, well, I need some kind of a video to show me what you're doing, and then I can help you from there. And I never got a response back from that, so I'm assuming they figured out how to do that. But I've also had people message me on Facebook, through my Facebook page, with pictures of their babies, helping them ID what kind of baby they have. I've had people message me, I've got a G5 coming, what all do I need for the G5? Do I need the diapers? Do I need the pacifiers? Do I need a bottle? Do I need this? And, you know, this is where I'm saying I like helping people. I'm helping them understand what they're doing wrong, how to fix it, if there's something they can correct, if it's something that's wrong with the doll. If it's something wrong with the doll, how do they fix it? So, start out by saying that I do like helping people. But where I'm getting a little irritated, or I don't know if irritated is the right word, drugged down, I just, the right word is escaping me at the moment. And Crystal said that she's been noticing this a lot lately and getting quite a few of this lately, is people messaging, wanting, and demanding to know how we do certain things. Recently on my eBay shop, I had somebody leave a comment demanding to know how to make the fake bottles, the RealCare bottles. They were demanding. And mind you, this was on the actual listing that I had of one of the bottles I had for sale. So on a typical listing, I'll have like this one. This is actually one I haven't listed yet. Picture of the bottle. I usually have the lid off and then the lid sitting next to it. But you can see there's the sensor in it. And here's the bottle. And I send all the bottles empty for 2 reasons. It saves the buyer shipping. For one, because, I mean, let's face it, guys. Yes, I have them set as free shipping. But free shipping is included in the cost. I would have to raise the cost of them if I was going to fill them. So free shipping, they're free shipping, but it's in the price, the purchase price. It's not extra where somebody might be asking, like I think I have these at $22 shipped. Where somebody might be asking $20 plus $5 shipping on them. With the price looks similar, but for some reason the free shipping, and I know I'm guilty of this too, I will see something with free shipping that is maybe $1 or $2 higher than something with including the shipping. I will usually go for the free shipping. So I'm guilty of this too. Anyways, I then email them or message them through eBay, and some people have asked me to email it to them, so I have no problem emailing to them after they have purchased the bottle. Is a sheet with various ways to create fake formula for the bottles. And the reason why I do that is because some people prefer one method over the other. I've had a few buyers that are, you know, I really like this way. I didn't like this way too much. This way I found was harder. This way was easier for me to do. I like the idea of this one because it's easier and it looks disposable. So I have the various methods of how to do that. And I even have like how to make juice out of it. And there have been a few people that asked how to make blood bottles. And I figured that out. And those people, I messaged them. I don't have it on the sheet, but I messaged them how to do it. So after they purchased, the bottle gets sent, and then I email or through eBay message the buyer the ways to fill it if that's how they choose. Personally, I like to leave mine empty because after a lot of trial and error, I've thrown many bottles away because of various methods didn't work and I didn't like, excuse me, I didn't care for what they did to the bottle. Going back to when I first got into dolls as an adult and finding out the Reborn bottles, which they're the exact same fillers as the RealCare bottles, are pretty similar. But when I first got into it, we were using paint, like acrylic paint. So you would go to Walmart, buy a bottle of, I think it was antique white acrylic paint. And they were like 75 cents for a 3-ounce bottle. You would fill that bottle up to about, well, this is, I believe, a 5-ounce. Oh, it's 4 ounce. So you'd probably fill it up 2 or 3 ounces, and then you'd put the paint in it and shake it. Sounds simple enough, and it was. And it was relatively inexpensive because that cheap bottle of paint was 75 cents, and you could get plenty of bottles out of that paint. The only problem is after a while it started separating, and it would leave a line of the paint around the inside of the bottle. And if you got to it and noticed it soon enough, you could typically wash the bottle and get the paint out, since it was mixed with water. But there were the occasions that you may not have noticed it. It was sitting somewhere. It was in sunlight, where the paint actually was almost like it was eating away at the inside of the plastic. I don't know if it was just the type of bottles I was using or what, but there was a good probably 5 to 10 bottles that I did this method to and end up just throwing away. There was another probably 5 that I was able to save. And, you know, after that, I tried the fabric softener method, which once again seemed really straightforward, relatively easy. This was more expensive than the paint method, as well as it came out pure white, so now you had to figure out the right coloring. Yellow food coloring would kind of make it right, but not quite right. You could try it with, what's it called? Vanilla extract, sometimes that. And it also depended upon the type of fabric softener you bought, because some fabric softeners mixed better with colors than the other ones. So, once again, trial and error. But then I noticed after a while it started drying out and getting chunky, even after you mixed it with water. Because personally, when I did that, I would thin it out with water. I know some people who would just dump the straight fabric softener in and call it good. I always thought it looked too thick. It almost looked like a milkshake-ish. It looked too thick for like a baby formula. So I would water mine down with water, or obviously water. I'd water mine down. And it still would get like the chunks in it. Once again, you could, some of them, if you got them early enough, could clean them out. Some of them you couldn't. So over time, I've probably thrown away a good 20 bottles that weren't just like the Walmart 97-cent bottles. They were pretty expensive bottles with trial and error methods. And I've just come to the realization, personally, I like my bottles empty. And that's why I absolutely love that Walmart stainless steel bottle, because I can leave the bottle empty. And it doesn't look like I'm just got an empty bottle that I am holding up to a doll's face like this. It does not look like that. I mean, you can't tell that it's not, or that it has nothing in it, especially when it's sitting like this. And so that's why I part of the reason why I send them empty. And back to what I was saying about the message, I get this message from somebody demanding to know how I seal the bottle, what I use to seal the bottle, where I get what I use to seal the bottle, as well as they want the sheet that I send with all my bottles on how to make the formula. Followed up with, I want to sell these too. This is where I'm getting irritated, because I've been getting messages similar to this on Facebook. I've gotten a few messages on YouTube as well. And, well, I comment on most messages left on YouTube, as well as there's a few on Facebook that I've not responded to. The money that I make off of selling my stuff on eBay goes to buying stuff for my dolls. My husband along the way has given me money to pay for the dolls. I start to feel guilty about that, because that's taking money away from my family. And I know I'm part of my family, but this is my hobby. This isn't their hobby. I would rather, instead of spending money on a doll for myself, spend that money on my children, or things for the house, or paying off this bill so we can buy a house quicker, like things like that. That's how I look at stuff. The money that I make on selling the bottles on eBay, as well as I sell chargers for the RealCare 2 pluses and 3s. And I've also had people message me asking me where I get those. Through eBay. Like, once again, if you can't take the time to do the research yourself, you're not going to get ahead in life. So, no, I am going to be rude and not respond to you, or just respond to you with sometimes I will admit, a stupid answer. Like, one person messaged me wanting to know where I got the chargers for the RealCare 2 pluses and 3s. Saying, this is a really good idea, this is a really good idea selling them, and you seem to be the only one selling them on eBay. I want to give you some competition. My response to that was, you email Coke or Pepsi asking them what their secret ingredients are and how they make Coke or Pepsi. Followed up with, because I want to sell, I want to become a competitor. You will A, get no response, or basically B, a response laughing that out, or C, possibly a response from their lawyer. You know, it's one thing if a friend in passing says, hey, I got this baby, where could I pick up one of the chargers? And honestly, depending upon the person, I might even offer it to them outside of eBay for a lesser cost. But once again, back to the money I'm making on eBay is paying for my hobby. It is paying for me to be able to go buy clothes, go on AliExpress and buy clothes. My haul from this week. The money that I used for those hauls was money that I made off selling items on eBay. Specifically, the bottles and chargers. So, it's my fun money to put into this hobby. If you want to become a competitor in this, do your own research. You need to do your own research. Because honestly, the bottles, there's a different way that I have been doing my bottles. It's not the way that I started out when I started making them. And I know there's some people out there, like especially when I said $22 for this bottle, and that's shipped. Let me break that down for you. Shipping through eBay is anywhere between $3 and $4 if it's under a pound. Or actually, I think if it's under 14 ounces. Maybe it's 15 ounces. So, then you've got pay eBay fees, which eBay fees are 10% of your selling price. Now, mind you, I have mine $22 shipped. Somebody might come in and have theirs $18 plus $4 shipping. They still have to pay the fees on that $4 shipping. So no matter what way a seller puts it, you're paying fees on shipping if you put it included in the price or if you put it separate. So you've got 10% there. So just from the 22, we're already knocking off, well, I'm going to average it out. So let's go the low side, $3, $2.20. So we're already at $5.20, taken off of that $22. As well as there's now PayPal fees. PayPal has this weird formula that, to me, when I figure it out, it's equivalent between 4 and 5%. So there's another about $1.20. So we're already, or not $1.20, $1.10. So now we're already $6.30 just between shipping and fees off of what I've made on this bottle. Then you got to take into consideration the bottle itself. So going to Target, buying a single 4-ounce Avent bottle, it's about $6-7. Then going and buying the glue, I use 2 different types of glue. One of the types of glue is $5 for, I think, a 4-ounce bottle. And the other type of glue is $5, and I don't remember how big that tube is. So right there, $9 for the glue. Then, what I use for the sensors. And depending upon where you get them, I pay anywhere between $6 for 8 of them to, I think it was last time I ordered them, trying to do the math, I think I paid $12 or $15 for 50. And that was ordering from a site, and it's getting shipped from China. Which reminds me, I need to check on that because I ordered that a while ago and I still haven't gotten them. But anyways, that doesn't include the time. So just the supplies. And to some people, you know, I just want this one bottle. I don't need 6 sensors. I don't need 2 big tubes of glue. Could I use it to make my own? Yeah. Could I use it to make others to sell? Yeah, but not everybody wants to do that. Some people just want the one. Some people just want the one pacifier. Some people want the pacifier and the bottle together. Some people just want one or the other. So, you know, when you break it down, I'm not exactly making a fortune off of these things. I am making a bit of money, but not a huge chunk off of that. As well as, like I said, the chargers. I'm making a little bit of money off of them, but not an astronomical amount. And there's a few other things that I need to test first before I decide to start selling them on eBay. But once again, it's coming back to, I'm going to test it first before I even put it on eBay. So, I'm going through the trial and error of testing it. I'm the one putting my money up on it to see if this works or if it doesn't work. But then I've got other people coming in wanting, and some of them demanding. Basically, I give my secrets away on what I'm doing or how I am doing it so that they can make money off of it as well. And once again, going back to the, you call up or you email Coke or Pepsi and ask them for their secret formulas for their drinks. Or you call some fashion designer and ask them to give you their fashion line, or give them the drawings of their fashion line that's going to be coming out the next season. It doesn't work that way. Life doesn't work that way. Plus, there are plenty of videos already on YouTube. Plenty of articles out there if you Google it on how to do this. Yes, my method works. Yes, I'm liking this method that I'm doing now better than I have done in the past. It started out on a fluke one day. I'm going to be brutally honest. How I got to the method that I'm doing them now. And my method has changed over the years. I have been making these for 15 plus years. And it's gotten to the point where Can I do it in my sleep? Yes. But I'm even evolving the way that I do it. And I can tell you that the way that I do the bottles now isn't even the same way to like Crystal does it. Where I know Crystal makes the bottles and sells them on Etsy. I do it on eBay. But she does it on Etsy. And she makes the bottles differently than I do. I don't even think she knows how I make the bottles now. I don't think many people know how I make the bottles now. Because it's been trial and error for me. At one point, the sensors, we used to, when we first started out, you would seal the bottle like you would a typical Reborn bottle. Then we just throw the sensor in and put a little more glue over the top of it to hold it in place. Well, after a while, especially with them being filled, they started rusting. Now you had a nipple that was like a reddish-orange rust color. And it would start dripping, especially if you would flip the bottle over, get whatever fake formula you had in there, get the bottle and the nipple wet and the sensor wet, and then you'd flip it back over. It would start dripping the rust color into the bottle. And it was disgusting. Like, I had to throw bottles away with that. Some of them I had to throw complete bottles because the rust would get stuck on the plastic. Some of them I was able to salvage the bottle and just toss the nipple. Some of them I couldn't even get replacement nipples for, so I just had to toss the whole bottle. It's been a lot of trial and error. And to get to the method that I am now. I know Crystal has shown videos on, I believe, the method that she uses to make them. And she will take fingernail polish on the sensors to try to keep them from rusting. I did that for a while as too, but it became too much, especially making them in large quantities, because you need to sit down, do one side, let it dry, flip it over, do the other, and then you need to get it all the way around the sensor. And it became too much. So I came up with the method that I'm doing now. I have not had any rust issues. And I personally care for this method better. So it works for me. That's what I've stuck to. And I've probably been doing this method for 2 to 3 years now. And even at that, back when we first started, to seal the bottles, we all used, I believe it was just super glue. I want to say that we sealed the bottles with super glue. And that's even like with the bottles. I don't seal anything but the hole in the nipple. So, can't roll away. So, everything can be taken apart and put back together. So, the new owner, if they want to seal it, there's plenty of ways out there that they can learn to seal it if they want to like glue the bottle together. I've tried that in the past and I did not care for that because it came back down to those bottles once they either got chunky or started separating, you couldn't get them undone. You just had to throw the whole bottle away. There was no salvaging them. So I don't like sealing them. I've only seen a few people fully seal their Reborn bottles, and those seem to be more so people that use them with children, or a child was using the bottles. And once again, I don't seal mine, or I don't fill mine, so I don't really need to seal mine. And sending them to the buyer has the choice of filling them or not. I've had a few that filled them. I've had a few that told me that they didn't want to fill them. So it's all up to the buyer. I let the buyer make that choice. I'm not going to make that choice for them. So, and this is where I come into this. There's a reason why I'm saying there's a way to ask for help, which is, you know, something that is not common knowledge. Like some of the RealCares, yeah, you can look on YouTube. But not many people have more than one type of Baby Think It Over, RealCare, or neonate. A lot of people just have like a RealCare 2, 2+. Some have 3s. there are those out there with Generation 6s or original RealCares, RealCare 1. Those are all the same one. There's some out there with, sorry guys, I don't know what happened. There are some people out there with like Generation 4, Generation 5s. But there's not many people out there that have more than 1 or 2 types. So, I've already said in other videos that I'm just now waiting. Hopefully it'll be here soon. Kim and I traded. She got my Hispanic boy, RealCare 2 Plus, and I traded her for Generation 6, original RealCare, RealCare 1, whichever you want to call it. That I'm going to be making some videos with him, but my friend Heather actually bought him from me. So after the videos are done, he will go live with her. But I'm going to be redoing my different types of video. You know, I have that video, quick differences, and I talk about like the Generation 6. I talk about RealCare 3s in those videos, but I didn't have one, so I wasn't able to like do any demos or like show any differences. Now that I have them, I will be able to show you from a generation, or from all 4 of the RealCares. The only one that I won't be having, I don't have a Generation 5, and I don't have a beginner care. I have had them in the past. I've considered buying a beginner care. I've seen a few on eBay lately, but personally, I've owned one in the past and I didn't care for it. I can talk about it when I talk about my Generation 4 and when I talk about the Generation 5. But you know, I like giving the information that I can on stuff like that. I will freely give out that information. But where I draw the line is especially people messaging on eBay. Or I believe Crystal got kind of a rude message from somebody that was upset that claiming Crystal didn't help her when she asked for help. And Crystal's like, I don't even remember this person asking for help. So, and I know Crystal is kind of the same way, where she's developed methods on certain things and she would like to keep them to herself. There are, like, even think about it, like I've been, I'm on a Facebook page for the Rose Doll Show. And like just looking at the Rose Doll Show stuff, like I am not going to the Rose Doll Show, but the classes for the Rose Doll Show, like you have to pay to go to those classes. Typically those classes are, I'm seeing about, I think $250 per class. And like some of them even include various items, but a lot of them, like I've been looking, one was beginner rooting of the hair. And I'm not dogging the people putting on the show or the people that are actually giving the classes, but it was $250 for a beginner rooting class, and you needed to bring your own Reborn head. They weren't going to provide any heads for you to work on. If you used a rooting tool, you were supposed to bring that with. They would provide you with some mohair. Oh, you had to bring a heat lamp as well. Or, not a heat lamp, magnified light, I think is what it said. You need a magnified light. You needed to bring your rooting tool if you used one. You needed to bring, like, there was a whole list of stuff that you yourself needed to bring yourself. And you're already paying $250 for this class. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. I have no problem sending my bottles out if you pay for them. I have no problem sending out my sheet of how I made bottles in the past after you've purchased a bottle. And that's kind of where people might, oh, you're just being greedy about it. No, I'm not being greedy about it. I'm not making money off this YouTube channel. I know there are people out there that are, but I am not one of them because I don't have 1,000 subscribers yet. So I'm making no money off this YouTube channel. So any money, like anytime I buy anything, I am using money that I have made from selling something. Like even buying the pacifiers in the haul to make the pacifiers for the RealCares to sell on eBay. I use the money. When I sell a charger, after I've sold enough chargers and I have to replenish my stock, I use the money when I hit a certain point to replenish my stock. I initially started out with using some money from my family's account, but I've gotten to the point where I won't do that. I have to think long and hard if I want something. When I was at Toys R Us, there was other things that I wanted, but I didn't purchase them because, frankly, I didn't need them, for one. Two, I had to think about, okay, is there anything that I need to purchase coming up in the near future for my, it's not a true eBay store, but for my eBay store. And there was a few things that I do need to do. So I had to put things back. That was even at Once Upon a Child. There was like the little headbands that I bought, one for myself and one for Crystal. There was quite a few of those headbands that I just fell in love with. But I only allowed myself to buy the 2 because I have other things that I need to buy. Plus I have the trip coming up. So please don't be offended if I ignore you if you ask a question like that. Please don't get rude with me if I won't answer it, or if I answer, sorry, I cannot give you that information, or, you know, just Google it or look on YouTube yourself. Because this is where I'm talking about, you know, if you want to get into making these and you want to get into selling them, you need to do your own research. Because the method that I'm making my bottles, you might not like. The method Crystal's made her bottles, you may not like. You need to do it for yourself. You need to figure it out yourself. Figure out what works for you, even what works for your budget. Because I know when I started making these bottles, and I've been making them and I've been selling them for a few years too. When I first got into start making these bottles and selling them, I would only go to like the dollar store and buy the cheap dollar bottles. And that's where a lot of the bottles are coming from. And I know like when I price my bottles for eBay, I price accordingly. So if I did get a bottle at the dollar store, I'm going to price that bottle cheaper than this Avent bottle or a Tommy Tippy bottle. And even pacifiers. Like I'm going to price kind of more so on how much it costs for that pacifier versus the type of pacifier. So like a Tommy Tippy pacifier, a pack of 2 Tommy Tippy pacifiers costs more than a pack of 2 or sometimes even 3 Nook pacifiers. So I'm going to price that accordingly when I put it on eBay. And once again, you know, if you want to know the various ways of how I make the fake formula, if you want to know, kind of get a better idea how I make the bottles, buy one. Before I started even making them back 15 years ago, I bought a couple on eBay. And then I was looking at them like the breakdown of, oh, that's how they make the bottle. Like I purchased one first. Then after I purchased, I want to say 2 or 3 of them, like I said, I started out, I think I used super glue, or X-Acto glue, I think is the other brand. But I think I started out making them with that to seal the nipples. And that just wasn't working for me. So I bought a tutorial off of eBay on how to make bottles. So, and this is before YouTube, and there's more information out there on YouTube. There's other YouTubers in the community that show different ways than even I make them. I believe Herlonda, her username's Pooh Bear something. There's Pooh Bear and some numbers after. I want to say 294, but I'm not 100% on that. Just recently she showed different ways to make bottles on how she had seen, I don't know if she had seen somebody or somebody told her how to do it this way. And if you want to go check that out, go check out her channel. She made the magic bottles. Or I think it was magic disappearing bottle. And I've seen people do it other ways than hers. So, you know, it all comes back to how you want to make it. So I know this video has been kind of a lot of rambling. So I hope you guys can understand. I know I'll probably get a lot of thumbs down for this, because people are thinking I'm being mean or rude, when in reality, this is how I fund my hobby, is selling these things. If you would like to make them, like I said, trial and error, buy some. Do your own research. I've done basically research and trial and error for 15 years to get to the point I am with them. So, I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will see you all later. Bye.